Ngibingelela bonke ababukeli endaweni ezihlukahlukene okhulumayo uPastor Robbie Williams kule sihloko esizokhuluma naso nabafundisi ngesihloko esibhekene naso kakhulu kulamalanga se-lockdown. Ngihamba nomfundisi uMagama nomfundisi Mathebula. Yes, so welcome bafundisi.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, welcome. Yeah, without any waste of time, kafushane nje abafundisi mhlamba ngasibreakela down mhlambe ngiqale ngomfundisi Magama asidihle kancane nje nge-ACDP, just a little bit background singasiyumi ukuthi wonke umuntu mhlamba uyazi.
Yeah, thank you very much Buruti. Well, as umfundisi angintroducile uImram Thabang Magama, an ACDP representative in the PAC in Mpumalanga. Basically our party it was established in 93. Our president, as I believe people know, and for those that do not know, it's Reverend Mushwe. We have 4 sittings in Parliament, and well, I can say that about our party basically in terms of our manifesto and what we stand for. Firstly, one of the things at which as a party we want to deal with or are dealing with or what we represent and advocating for, it is an issue of what we call high unemployment.
All right.
So those are one of the things at which as a party we have policies in place that we are advocating for in terms of eradicating unemployment. And number 2, one of the points in our manifesto, it is the issue of high crime rate. So we are very much concerned in terms of what we call the level of crimes that which the country is at. So it's one of the things at which we want to lend a hand or offer our expertise as a party in relation to those issues involving crime. And number 3, we also are fighting in terms of an educational system that which will produce the kind of what we call of learners and of pupils that which will become useful in terms of assisting our economy to grow even further.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't want to speak much.
That's very
don't
interesting.
have much time.
Very interesting. Yeah. No.
Yeah.
I think you can also maybe now ATM. It's a new kid on the block. I think it's 2 years now. Especially as a faith-based organization, ngesizwe nje kancane background yakho ukuthi thina umfundisi Magama usale wangena nakancane vele ku-mission evision yabo.
Yes.
And you can also just do the same.
No, thanks. Ngibingelele kakhulu kubalaleli emakhaya. Ngibingelele uPastor Magama and nani ngibingelela kakhulu. I think well, as you mentioned, uSphiwe Mathebula, the Provincial Secretary of ATM in Mpumalanga. ATM was started, we still babies, yeah? We started in 2018, June 2018. But within a space of a year, we made a huge impact in South African politics. We're making a lot of noise about the situation now of COVID-19. Well, in 2019 election, we managed to get 2 seats in the National Assembly, which, well, we set a record because not many new political parties happen to get seats in the National Assembly. They are all political parties, but they fail. So we have a seat also in KZN, the legislature, and in the Eastern Cape. But look, our core values, we are a South African-based, faith-based political party.
Okay.
Right. But we represent more the interests of South Africans in general. Not only Christians, not only Muslims or certain spectrum of the community, but South Africans as a whole, because we have a program or a project that says put South Africans first. Because we're looking at economic aspects of our lives, because we need an economy to be stable so that our lives will be better. It's very difficult as a Christian to go to church hungry and come back at a house where you have nothing to eat. So we need to balance the two. Hence we say our government must put South African first in terms of economy, especially the microeconomy, informal sector, where you find Gucci, there's a lot of foreigners who are owning spaza shops, and you don't need a foreigner to own a spaza shop in Nazareth. People who are staying there can be able to operate. Yes. And if you go to a power station like Bogusile and your Arnold and whatnot, you'll find that the government or ESCOM source artisans from Germany, from European countries. But we have a lot of artisans who are sitting at home. So we're fighting more of that, and we also stand for a capital-based punishment, capital punishment, which says the convicts, the criminals. We had now, the government want to release about 190 or 19,000, am I right? 19,000 of them. We are saying that people who are convicted of crime, they must work in jail. They must not just be fed and watch DSTVs and whatnot, get high-class medication. They must work. Like what was happening all days. There's a lot of farms. They must work the farms. They must produce vegetables. They must do something while in prison to boost the economy. Also, we are of a death sentence, death penalty for certain crimes, because we believe that that will eliminate or will reduce the high rate of killings of women and children and of murderers in general. So we stand for that. But our core values are peace. We stand for peace. We stand for Ubuntu. We believe in South Africa, Ubuntu has diminished. People have no longer Ubuntu. We want to bring that. We believe in transformation, that we need to transform our mind from where we were to where we are now. We need transformation, and we also need servant leadership. A lot of corruptions that are happening in government is because there are no servants there. That is why we don't call ourselves comrades in ATM. We call ourselves servants, because as a servant, there's a master. There's somebody who sent you there to represent him. So we believe that the voters are our masters. So we become the servants of the people. So that is why in ATM we call ourselves servants and not comrades. Because we have seen what comrades are doing. When there's a vacancy, where there's a tender, you give it to your comrades. Now we're talking about the issue of food parcels. Food parcel goes to their comrades. So but if you are a servant, you have a guilty conscience now to say, no, I cannot take this. You see. So we believe in servant leadership and accountability. So those are our 5 core values. In accountability, you are accountable. You are responsible for the position that you occupy. You see. So when you know that the buck stops with you, you don't pass it, then you will actually do everything accordingly. And as a faith-based, we have conscience. We respect God. We are fearful. We won't have people who go to government and steal for the poor. You see. Yes.
Okay, no, that's very interesting to know more about ATM. Because given a privilege, at least of studying a lot of that has to do with Manifest ACDP, we sound so much alike.
Yes.
Maybe what are the little bit of differences here and there?
No, I don't think we have much differences. I think a number of things that which my leader has mentioned in relating to the issue of corruption, in relating to the issue of the convicts. I think we share similar sentiments as well, because we do also believe in corporal punishment, and we are pro-life as well. I do believe they are also pro-life, and we are also for the sanctity of marriage. In as much as we are for the sanctity of life, also the sanctity of marriage. For we do believe that which, from the very beginning, marriage was between a male and a female. Correct. And we do believe that in terms of what we call of corruption and what has been happening, since 94, we have been unfairly represented as the citizens of what we call of this country by the ruling party. So as ACDP, we are a party that which declares itself or declares the word of God as its final authority. So we put God first in everything that which we do and everything that which we are. So there are no much differences between the two parties, having listened to my leader here. But one thing that I can add on, because there's this perception out there that as Christian-based parties, we are only advocating for moral related issues, you know, especially in media, you know, we'll be given a voice maybe if there's a moral related issue. But when it comes to maybe addressing economical or issues concerning unemployment or social issues and stuff like that, we are sidelines or we are not given that platform. So we really thank God for this platform that we are being afforded to express or to actually have a view in relating to what is happening currently. Yeah.
No, thank you. Matebula, so put her on the spot. There must be a difference between you, because otherwise we'll be same party. What are the few?
Look, we cannot be a photocopy of ACDP, or they can't be a photocopy of us. They are an independent organization. They have their own constitution and their own values. But of course, because we are both faith-based organizations, we will have similarities there and there. Like we agree in a lot of things. I think that in all the political parties that are in parliament, we could be seen agreeing more with ACDP than any other political parties, because we also put God first. You know, we say South Africa for God. We are saying that, and sometimes we are disturbed by when the president speaks there. He doesn't seem to include God in everything. After this pandemic, we were supposed to give it to God, you know, because he knew before it happens that it will come. So, but our government seem to be antichrist. They don't mention God in all their dealings. You see, last night I heard President saying, "God bless South Africa and her people." You can't refer to God as her. I mean, unless if he's talking about another God that we don't know. So, but in our manifesto, we are clear, and I think there are similarities to what my leader has been saying here. We stand for peace, justice, safety, and security. Those things must happen now. That is why our motto says peace in our lifetime. You know, we want peace now. We don't want peace in 2040. We want food security now. We want justice now. You see, decolonize economy for sustainable livelihoods. You see, because when we say decolonize economy, we're talking more about the micro economy. You know, micro, where we talk about people who are working, fixing tires on the road, the tuck shops that I've mentioned, the saloons, that is a very important sector of our economy, but it's dominated mostly by foreign nationals. We are very, very worried about that, and we think it's taking South Africa back. You know, hence we say put South Africa first. Land. It's a very crucial issue in South Africa, and rural development and food security, as I've mentioned, sustainable human settlement and basic services, education and skills development. We need to develop our own people, so we can stop hiring people from Germany, from Pakistan. If you go to Kisile, there's a lot of Pakistanis there. There's a lot of people who are coming from Asia, you know, but we have artisans sitting at home that we can develop to what we want. And they can work there at those power stations. Health and safety, health and social services, traditional and religious affairs, youth and early childhood development. It's very important. Childhood development, we think, is a very most fundamental aspect of a human being, because the way you are brought up determines what you're going to be when you are an adult. Most of the people who are abusing their wives today, if you track back, you'll find that he didn't grow up well. Maybe he used to see his father beating up his mother or whatever. So he thinks it's life. So the way you bring him up, that's what he's going to be when he's older. So we on to that early childhood development, and there are people who are working on those aspects of early childhood development. Those people must be registered in government. You see, they must not be dependent on the parents of the because they play a very crucial role in bringing up a person. You see, now empowerment of women and people with disability is also very important. Building a corrupt-free and a responsible development state. We want a corrupt-free South Africa. If there was no corruption in South Africa, this country would be very far. you know. But because of the corruption, you look at the number of sheikhs that are in each and every municipalities. You look at the state of the roads. You look at the state of service delivery in general. It's very poor and it's deteriorating. It's going bad, you know. So we believe that a corrupt-free government will help sustain the lives of people.
On that note, Mfundisi, now that we are faced with this pandemic, what maybe after you listened to the president and other, what do you think if you were in charge now you would do differently? If ATM, for instance, was governing?
Yeah, no. Look, I think we were going to do more of consultation. We were going to consult more. I think the government is consulting, but not all stakeholders, because if we look at churches, for instance, churches has not been consulted as much. There are certain aspects of our country which have been sidelined, especially the pastors. You see, you should consult more people who are affected, especially the religious leaders, the religious sector. The religious sector was actually undermined by the government, and maybe traditional sectors as well, your chiefs, and we should, because the chiefs are the ones who are the custodians of the community. The community look up to the chiefs more than they look up to the councillor, you know, a ward councillor. And we believe that those people should have been consulted, work to get a cure for if we can't get a cure, Western medicine, let's look at the other way. I think our government is focusing only medication that will come from Europe. You know, they're looking at a Western medication that will help us. We have heard what happened in Madagascar, that they found a cure in medication. I mean, we are indigenous, we are indigenous nation. From long back, we used to drink traditional herbs and we get healed. You know, if it can help the nation, we saying use it. You see, we are saying use it. We look at all angles. I think the government is focusing on one angle. They should have allowed it. And moreover, we believe that pastors and leaders, they were supposed to be deemed as essential service providers, because a person is dual in nature. There's you that I see now, but there's you that I cannot see. And then the you that I cannot see doesn't depend on a food parcel, or doesn't depend on the sanitizing of the hands and whatnot, or wearing a face mask. It's a spiritual being, you know. You are dual in nature. You need a spiritual healing. And who else other than your spiritual leader who can offer you that? No, because getting food parcel, you're not gonna heal spiritually. If your spirit is deteriorated, it's damaged. You need someone to uplift you. So pastors should have been regarded as counselors. You know, to say here are permits for the pastors, churches that are registered. These pastors are allowed to travel to visit the members of their churches. You can still sanitize when you get there, but you can still pray. I think prayer was supposed to be encouraged. So when you classify, we had a problem when the government classified taverns with churches. You close taverns, then you close the church. So you are actually telling us a church and a tavern is the same thing, you know. You see, I think there were supposed to be measures put in place, but churches were supposed to be allowed to operate. Yes.